You're listening to The Burning Truth. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Matt Burns, and, well, I should actually say, more or less actually, get back to the usual business. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dude and dudettes. I am your host, Matt Burns, also known as the Funk Soul Brother, the bad boy of British wrestling, and also known as the Potteries Powerhouse as well, among other names as such. Now, I will state that, it's a great return for the Burning Truth. I'm back live. We're back live, and I can honestly say, absolutely brilliant to be back doing this again. And I can honestly say, got plenty to talk about and everything. But before I actually start, I'd wanted to get some stuff mentioned on potentially the reasoning behind the massive absence of TBT, because I know a few people have actually noticed that, I have been, sort of get myself better. I have actually did wrestle again recently for United Wrestling, which I'll discuss a bit later. But, even though I had done that, I hadn't brought back the Burning Truth. And the funny thing about it was, when I had to take the time off and I made the announcements, at the time I wasn't 100% fit, 100% well. And in case if anybody wants to know about the health issue that I actually encountered, that I was experiencing, and as such, it was a condition known as uveitis. Now, you've probably heard me mention that in the past, which, past colleagues who have been on the show were joking and laughing, and it is, I can laugh and joke about it as such, but it is something that is quite serious and quite, dangerous if not taken care of very much, and can potentially lead to blindness, which, if anybody does want to look it up, I do have to state this: if you do look up the condition, please be warned that I cannot be held responsible for any of the images that may be unsuitable, or rather, basically, if you do actually, it's at your own discretion, because some of the images for the condition can be quite graphic. So apologies for that. Now, aside from that, I wasn't exactly in the right frame of mind myself, and as such, I've had to deal with some very, very, very serious issues, dealing with confidence and everything. And I felt as though, with me not being at my 100% best, and, not being up, to explain, everyone who probably listens to the broadcast or know me personally will know that I am a massive, avid supporter of mental health. And I would like to just state that, in regards to that, I am a massive, massive supporter of it. And as such, it's not something easy to exactly admit, openly state that, that I'd experienced something in regards to this. And it was something like that. It was a bit of an issue that I had to overcome and sort of get myself the time that I needed. And I can honestly say, as much as I didn't seek professional help in regards to this issue, because I felt as though I didn't need it. However, I did end up having help from great friends, great family, great colleagues and everything. And just to mention, I'm not going to be doing the whole giving out names and everything, but you know who you are, and I can honestly say, thank you very much for being there in my time of need. As such, I can honestly state I am very grateful for all the help that I have actually received, in regards to it, and it's actually helped me get things more straight and narrow, and looking forward to the future and everything. So it is something that I do think is serious, but that, as much as I'm not saying I don't need the help anymore, but the fact that I've actually got such great friends, and great colleagues, great family members that have helped me out through this, I can't applaud them enough. And if anybody is having any mental health issues, if you even want to just talk to myself, a colleague, please, I recommend you all to talk. I just thought to just take this little bit of time just to explain the reason why I was off, and also give at the same time, a bit of a shout out to, if you are suffering mental health issues, just by admitting that you have them doesn't make you any less of a person. Doesn't mean you are weak. If anything, it's more likely means that you are being a strong individual in openly admitting that there is something wrong, and you're not weak for having the issue either, but you are openly admitting that you need to have help, and asking for help doesn't mean you're weak, and in my own mind means you're actually quite strong. So thank you very much for just them few minutes in regards to what has recently gone, what has transpired. And so apologies for the missing of weeks, but as you've probably noticed, it was quite serious. But let's get back to why we're all here, and that is wrestling. So next week, the UKWA is releasing a double roster reveal. Now, the reason why the last week's roster reveal, because they stated that there was some technical issues, there was some other issues as such, but that is the case in regards to what had happened with the UKWA announcements, and hopefully that everything goes according to plan, and that they are able to do a double roster reveal tomorrow. So please check out their social media to see who is the next members of the UKWA roster. And lo and behold, even on Christmas Eve. Interesting that is. So please check that out. I want to have a bit of a minute silence tribute right now, because while the Burning Truth was off, unfortunately some wrestling legend had unfortunately passed away, and I'm just going to be mentioning two of them at the moment. If I've missed any additional ones, please let me know about them. I will possibly try to get a mention out of them, but at the same time, I'm going to be the two names I'm going to be mentioning are Dynamite Kid, Thomas Billington, who a lot of people know who he is, probably know the history, and he is potentially one of the reasons why a lot of the current roster of WWE, the British scene, all over the world, are wrestlers to this day. And of course, the ex Larry Hennig, who some might actually know it is Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig's father, who had actually who has passed away as well. And this also goes out, this tribute also goes out to any wrestlers who have unfortunately passed away during the time that the Burning Truth was off the air. So I am just going to do a minute silence right now. Now, that might be possibly more than a minute that I had anticipated. Now, I just thought to just mention that in regards to, but if there is any other wrestlers who have unfortunately passed away, please let me know, and I will try to do my best to get them covered for either a future episode or and everything. But apologies if I have missed any names off in regards for the tribute. But absolute, unfortunate loss for in regards to Dynamite Kid Thomas Billington, and also the Axe Larry Hennig. It's two icons of the British wrestling. No, not British, not all British wrestling, of all wrestling actually, because everyone knows that the Axe Larry Hennig isn't British, where Dynamite Kid Thomas Billington was, one half, Davey Boy Smith's tag team partner as the British Bulldogs. Now, let's move on to some on to actual wrestling talk, as in regards to WWE. Now, recently, the WWE has actually had a massive dynamic change and everything. Now, I know I don't normally do on the Burning Truth, big massive spoilers or mention any results as such, but I feel as though this topic of discussion needs to be brought up, which is in regards to GMs being no more. Now, I felt as though the Raw GM was very lacking at the moment. Well, at the time, which is the fact that you had Kurt Angle off and Baron Corbin in. Now, I felt as though Baron Corbin should be more more involved as actually being a active wrestler than being a GM. And as such, at the same time with that, we also had Miss Bliss doing also, the female, roster as well on Raw. Now, whether that continues on, that could be up to the Vince McMahons themselves, that, to allow Miss Bliss to also be on television while she's currently recuperating from injuries. That could still be the case. Now, the one thing I thought that was interesting is the fact that you got Paige on SmackDown, who's no longer general manager of SmackDown anymore. And I felt as though that is such a shame, because I thought she was doing an absolutely wonderful job, and I hope that they still keep her on the roster, and also sort of still keep her on television, but due to she won't be wrestling as such, but I still think she has plenty to give to the WWE. And hope that there's more to come. Now, a lot of people are stating, what is going on with this whole mix-up of the McMahons being running both Raw and SmackDown. Now, my thoughts on this is the fact that they're doing this because they're doing a big massive shake-up, most likely possibly close either to the Rumble or in the new year or just after the Rumble, who knows. But I think that the shake-up is mostly to do with the whole TV deal that's recently come in for SmackDown. And I'm not 100% sure if I'm correct on this. I believe it is Fox that they are doing the TV, that they're doing the deal with, which is going to be bring some big things for SmackDown, to state that they want some massive mix-up, they want this, basically there could be some massive changes in regards to that. Now, what's so interesting to say is, with the whole Vince McMahon's, being back in charge, could we potentially be seeing more storylines, a bit like how we had in the Attitude Era? More like angles involving talents mixing with, the higher ups, the management side, a bit like how they had the Austin and McMahon stuff. Could we be having a repeat of that? I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're just doing something different, because it's going to allow more of a transition to have more wrestlers transferring over and more focusing on the actual wrestling talent, which I am not seeing as a bad thing. But if that isn't the case and the McMahons are just taking up the TV time, again, showing their faces, we're here, we're in charge, we do what we want. That's not what what WWE want. That's not what the WWE fans, WWE universe, whatever they want to call them. Basically, wrestling fans don't want that. We don't want to keep seeing McMahon's running everything, because, as I will state, the McMahons have got some great numbers, been entertaining, but I feel as though they've done that a bit too much in the past, and they might have, used it up, by going to the well too much. Now, why don't we just have them running a bit like how Triple H is just running NXT? Which that could also be the case as well, because as such, we've also got some interesting superstars being called up, which I will be discussing that in a minute. But in regards to the whole new changes format, it could actually mean that some new tag teams getting more pushes, some old tag teams making big returns, getting pushed, and who knows, it could actually potentially shake up the actual dynamic of both brands in such a big way. But as for what my actual thoughts on that are, as long as they don't put the focus on the McMahon family too much and focus more on the wrestling, and they actually do what they're saying by stating that they are going to be listening to the universe, even though Vince McMahon was still showing shades of his old self, which was still interesting. But as long as they are doing what's best for business, as in keeping the fans entertained, keeping wrestling prosperous, pushing forward, I am all up for it. If, however, instead they just put Vince, the McMahons are here, they're there, they're everywhere, and if it just becomes another McMahon show, I will be massively disappointed, and as such, that'll most likely have me tuning out, potentially. But as much as when I say tuning out, I don't mean I will be just not, I'm leaving WWE. Not the case. When I say tuning out, it'd be most likely just me going, skip. Interesting bit. Let's watch a bit of that. Let's watch some of this. I still will watch some of it, but I won't be as enthusiastic to watch it, because I feel as though it won't be as good. But at the same time, as much as that might not be helping the situation, because they're still getting a review, but that's not. We're sort of in the realm of if something's going to be done, and we need to make a big change, it has to be done on a whole level, as in everybody in agreement, as in all wrestling fans. If we don't like it, we switch off. But that's not going to be the case. There's always going to be fans who are going to be watching it and still building up the revenue. But I will state, I will be more hesitant in watching more upcoming WWE events, as such, if that is the case, where the McMahons are all over the place, or on everything. It shouldn't be that. It should be focusing on the current roster. But anyway, let's move on from that, and let's talk about the NXT call-ups, which straight away speaks volumes and will more likely put me in more of a better judgment in thinking that they are not focusing on the McMahon family, because straight away we've got Lars Sullivan, who has been on the cusp of being called up for quite some time. But as for where they're going to be going, well, the 6 names that have been, I'll just mention the 6 names instead who are being called up, which is Lars Sullivan, EC3, Lacey Evans, Heavy Machinery, which is, I believe, Dozovit, or, Dozovit, I think it is. Apologies for mispronouncing it. And Tucker Knight, and of course Nikki Cross, who is who was Insanity. Now, she's still using the Sanity music, but with her own twist. Who knows where they're going to be, but I have got predictions for them. But what I'm going to do now is just basically mention each one of them individually and think how I think they're going to impact the roster. Now, Lars Sullivan, big man. I can only say he is going to be an absolute beast of a man, but I feel as though he'll be more acquitted for for SmackDown. Well, a lot of these call-ups I feel as though would be more so acquitted for SmackDown because at the moment in time, but that could all change with the rosters going back and forth because I feel as though if Lars Sullivan was on Raw, it wouldn't be as... He wouldn't have as much of a big standing ovation because they've already got a big, massive monster on there. Who, okay, yes, he is injured, but you don't want to be building up, the monster versus the Freak so soon by having them both on the same roster. It'd be better by having them on SmackDown, being the Freak, destroying the, left, right, centre, boom, boom, boom. Back and forth. So then, eventually, when they do another event where it's Raw versus SmackDown, they can then have the Monster Among Men versus the Freak, which will then be even bigger and more hyped when it does actually happen, and will actually most likely put butts in seats, and will be very, very interesting. I feel as though he would get more of a showing on SmackDown as well. EC3, I think. He would do brilliant on SmackDown, and he would, but I feel as though he would prosper a lot better on Raw, myself, personally. The reason being that I feel as though when it comes to call-ups, he would be better. I think as though, if he is, well, I think he'd be great on either, because if he's on SmackDown straight away, they're going to be pushing him when in certain different areas. It's going to be brilliant. He'll be able to work well with AJ Styles, plenty of the former alumni, plenty of former TNA / Impact wrestlers on either brand, and he will be entertaining as hell. Now, what's so interesting is that EC3 is a former WWE wrestler, in the fact that he used to be known as Derek Bateman. Now, I feel as though with EC3, WWE made a massive slip up by letting him go at the time, but at the same time, it might not be as much of a mess up because he went out after they released him. He made a name for himself, got himself, boom, up on that plateau, and now he's ready for WWE on a much, much bigger level. And he has been standing out, and I feel as though he would either fit in on SmackDown as a potential US champion, or he could be even potentially on Raw as a candidate for the Intercontinental Champion. But he'd have to wait at the moment because of the current events with the Intercontinental Championship being battled between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. But EC3 is more better as a heel. So with him not being there, I can imagine EC3 being a suck up to the Vince McMahon family and potentially trying to twist things into his own right, stating he has a rich family. Basically mention, well, he won't state that he is a Carter. I can't see him doing that. But I can see him trying to weasel his way into favour of the McMahons and somehow getting that favour. But that'll be interesting to say. Now, Lacey Evans, I think, would be very interesting to see on either, but it's hard to say because as much as I would love to see her on SmackDown, I feel as though she would be overshadowed on SmackDown at the moment in time because of the fact that at the moment we've got the Man on there, we've got Asuka, the current WWE SmackDown champion, and we've also got the Queen, in Charlotte Flair. Now on Raw, it's going to be interesting to see. Now, I can see it more now. You know what? I'm going to retract the statement that I said earlier that I can see them more all on SmackDown. No, I'm wrong. I was actually wrong. I can actually see Lacey Evans more so on Raw because as much as Ronda Rousey is the women's, the women's champion of Raw, she could fit in and catch a lot of people by surprise. Now, she could end up, being involved with Nia Jax. She could end up being, potentially involved with other wrestlers. And it'd be interesting to see what they do with her, especially with her gimmick. And I feel as though if she was on SmackDown, on SmackDown, I think, personally, the SmackDown women's division is a higher standard than the Raw one. Because as much as everyone can say, oh, Ronda Rousey's on top, she's the top dog. Aside from that, there is no slouches on there. But other than Ronda Rousey, who else have they actually damn well focused on? They might be bringing in some women's tag team championships. We don't know. But the main thing on the women's side on Raw is, let's put over Ronda Rousey. She's the badass. She's a badass. And a bit of side of, dealing with Sasha Banks and the Huggable one. Straight away, it doesn't stand out to me as much. And I felt as though the whole, Natalya dealing with the Riot Squad felt more forced than anything. They had to fit something in somewhere. Which is unfortunate because I think Lacey, bringing Lacey in could bring up a new dynamic. She could even potentially be linked with, Miss Bliss. Who knows? Miss Bliss could end up actually being her manager as such and try to help get her over as much as possible. That could be an interesting dynamic. There is a forte for there. Or she could, if she is on SmackDown, could even fit in a role for Paige. But I think it'd be more better suited on Raw with Miss Bliss. Because I think if she was on SmackDown and she was mixed with Paige, she'd get more cheered. Where with the whole gimmick that Lacey Evans has got, I think if she's doing the whole Salute in America, she will get cheered. But she'd be better as a villainess. She'd be much better as that because I think as though how she has been on NXT, she has been in that role quite well. And I think her being paired, or having, Alexa Bliss managing her would be very interesting, and who knows, could potentially, get her some viewings and be involved more. Now, Heavy Machinery will be that, once again could fit in anywhere on either Raw or SmackDown, but I think it'd be more interesting to fit them on SmackDown because you don't want Heavy Machinery be butting heads with the Authors of Pain so soon, a bit like how I said earlier with Lars Sullivan. Get them on SmackDown, get them running roughshod through the SmackDown tag team division and putting names down. Now, a lot of people say, but they got the Bludgeon Brothers on there. They haven't been on there for quite some time. There is injuries. So we're currently having to wait and see what is going to become of the Bludgeon Brothers for later on. But at the moment, there's a spot on SmackDown that will be perfect for Heavy Machinery to fit in. And when time comes for Raw vs. SmackDown, we could have, Authors of Pain versus Heavy Machinery, which once again, hype, button seats will do the trick. So straight away, that would be massively interesting to me personally. And I feel as though the whole deal with Heavy Machinery is very interesting, especially as they've already done some announcements saying, we're going to Raw, we're going to SmackDown, they don't know. Because of a certain video, but that also plays up to their characters as well, which has been absolutely brilliant. But I can see them fitting more into SmackDown than Raw, because with the whole factor of AOP being on Raw, Heavy Machinery would be a great fit for SmackDown straight away. Boom, there's a spot for them. It could be big. Now, as far as Nikki Cross, you know what you're going to say. A lot of people say, well, you could argue on either side. So you've got somebody from Sanity on both sides. No. She will be best on SmackDown with her Sanity brethren. You know, her brethren arms, her cohorts. She would, it would fit that missing piece straight in for Sanity. And who knows, that could also lead to Sanity into big things. Having Sanity try and dominate SmackDown and take over it with this whole new change of regime. It'd be very, very interesting. But only time will tell. But great to see that Nikki Cross is getting the call up. And I know she's already had her debut on SmackDown. But, a lot of people saying, well, she has already debuted. Well, she'd be perfect for straight for SmackDown. Put her on SmackDown, especially with the fact that she's just recently had, some great matches. She would be a natural fit and be absolutely perfect. Fit her back into Sanity. It's where she damn well belongs. Get her in there. Now, at the same time as during this week, we've also had some reveals that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are coming back soon. Now, when Kevin Owens does come back, I think that they need to put him straight into face, straight at Bobby Lashley. Bam. That, Kevin Owens will be over as hell. The Kevin Owens show. Big, massive pop. Be absolutely amazing, awesome, and if necessary, with Sami Zayn, there's rumour has it that Sami Zayn is returning, but he's also going to be injured on the injured list still for quite some time. What I'd be interested to see them doing is, why not keep playing up the dynamic between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn? Why don't we have Kevin Owens come back, big face with Sami Zayn, big face, but have Sami Zayn being in more of a managerial role, or assisting Kevin Owens a bit like, how Bobby's got, a certain wrestler backing him up. Be interesting. It'd be a great counter for Bobby Lashley, and it would be very, very fitting. And I think we need to have Kevin Owens come back bigger, badder than ever, but with Sami Zayn backing him up, both of them as faces, it would put butts in seats, and I would be thoroughly entertained. If not, and they do put him as a heel, we'll have to wait and see what they do with it. But either way, with them coming back, it'll be very, very interesting to see. Now, fingers crossed, hopefully, I hope I'm right that they do bring them back as faces instead of heels, and it should be thoroughly entertaining. And I think as though they need to bring him back as faces, especially with Sami Zayn having that feud with Bobby Lashley, especially with him doing his turn. Be very interesting what comes about. Now, WrestleMania coming up. I already predicted that Becky Lynch will be facing off against Ronda Rousey. I can see it. It's already happening. It's going to be happening. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, well, why are you saying that? Bit of a news flash. In case you haven't seen any recent wrestling, like TLC and everything, and the recent SmackDown, I know I don't normally discuss, the actual show themselves. The fact that Becky Lynch is already gunning for Ronda Rousey and supposedly Charlotte Flair is as well. Don't put Charlotte Flair in the feud. No. Don't make it a three-way. Do not make it a three-way. Make it Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. Armbar versus armbar. Be absolutely brilliant. Butts in frickin' seats. We don't need to have Charlotte Flair in every big big match. We don't need it. We don't need it around. We just need to have Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. Put butts in seats, especially with what happened at TLC. The fact that we had Ronda Rousey cost Becky Lynch her championship. Well, a lot of people say, well, it also cost Charlotte Flair. Well, take into account Becky Lynch was the champ at the time, so it's effectively she, if regardless of who could have won and should have won it, she walked in the champ and she's walking out no longer the champ because Asuka was able to capitalize on what Ronda did and became the new champion. So I think that would have much more to fight, and from this, I feel as though if they're going to go down this road with Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey, play it up with the fans. The fans are already cheering Becky Lynch. And take into account when Ronda Rousey was fighting against Charlotte, they were booing Ronda. They were booing her, especially when Charlotte Flair decided to strike Ronda with a chair. Feed off it. Have Ronda turn into a villain, into a heel, and come at a very massive face, Becky Lynch, that will put butts in seats and be as entertaining as hell. I don't care who would come out. This is how interested I am in this. I do not care who wins the match. That match will put butts in seats regardless. It would be absolute epic, amazing. What more can I say? Butts in seats. Face Becky Lynch using the man. And a very brutal and vicious Ronda Rousey being a heel villainess. And it would be absolute, because at the same time, I feel as though Ronda would be... She's okay as a face, but I think from what I've seen of her, because I did watch her career in UFC, she'd be better as a heel because straight away she'd be able to tap into her vicious side. And believe me, Ronda, when she was in the UFC, if she wanted to claim somebody's arm, she was brutal with it. Let Ronda tap into that, into that frustration, especially when the fans were booing her during the Survivor Series event. Allow her to tap into her hatred and try, that would be a epic clash. Fan support, fans hatred, boom! Butts and seats. Now, that's all my discussions for the main wrestling as such, and I'm going to be discussing a little bit of British wrestling, which is also involving myself. This is where I mentioned earlier that I had returned to the wrestling, which is I actually made a re-return to United Wrestling, which originally I was meant to be returning much sooner, but because of the eye condition, I was unable to. Instead, I ended up returning, re-wrestling again for United Wrestling for their December show, which was absolutely amazing. I can only say I cherished it. However, going into that show, right, Matt Burns, you are in a Rumble. Great, I know the outcome of that. Already, that's my predictions. That's how much of a self-esteem I already had. The fact that I already assumed that I wasn't winning, that I wasn't going to be coming out the victor, because, taking into account, throughout my entire career, I have not won a Rumble. Wow. That night was special to me because I managed to finally win my first ever Rumble. And I can also say that all the fans that were there, I absolutely cherish. Every one of you that had cheered for me, I am very, very grateful that I managed to get that win. And wow. It's absolutely astounding the fact that I managed to get that win. It's something I've been wanting to get off me wrestling list for a long time, to win a Rumble. But at the same time, what was so joyous was the fact that I ended up eliminating Charles Kelsey, which a lot of people may or may not know that me and Kelsey have a bit of a long history. He's never beaten me. He gets very upset and he was very frustrated. But I can also say it. If anybody who was there, who watched it, saw as soon as I won, I pretty much just hit the floor. Okay, I was in a hard-fought contest, got sick kicked by Charles Kelsey, which did hurt, by the way, but I was in shock and awe. that I managed to get my first Rumble win. But I will state, bigger things are coming for myself, for Matt Burns. I am going to be wrestling more often. Wrestling whenever I can, as much as possible. So please check out my social media for Matt Burns and potentially the website, which hopefully I should be getting that updated very, very soon, and hopefully getting some more match dates out for fans to check out. Now, in regards to usually what happens with the Burning Truth during the Christmas periods and holiday season, there's potentially some time off. There's potential, I know I've just come back. A lot of people are going to be saying, "You just come back for the holiday season. You're going to be taking time off. What's going on here?" There's a reason for it. I came back because I wanted to discuss what had been going on, and at the same time, I'm not going to be taking as much time off as you think, because I'm just going to be stating this. There will be a special Christmas message from the Burning Truth being done, that will be released on Christmas Day. So if you want to check that out, please check us out on Christmas Day for that Christmas message. I hope you all check it out and have a listen to it, because I'm going to be saying certain things from the heart, for the Burning Truth, that I hope actually goes out and touches every listener that does listen in, and basically it's almost going to be possibly many thanks to many people who listen in and everything. Probably going to be one of them. He's going to go on and on and on. It's not like I've won an award, but anyway, speaking of awards. TBT Awards will be making a return, and that will be done. Now, a lot of people are going to be stating that, are you going to be doing it next week? Or are you going to be doing it on New Year's Day? What are you going to be doing? Now, next week, unfortunately, I could do a pre-recorded episode, but I will not be able to do a pre-recorded episode because I feel as though I wouldn't be able to do it justice if it's pre-recorded, because I've got to cram a lot of thoughts, a lot of time, and I've got a very, very busy schedule coming into next week. I feel as though I wouldn't be able to get it all done, and it feel more rushed than anything. So instead, next week's episode isn't happening because it's being moved. It's not because it's being actually cancelled. It's actually being moved to New Year's Day. So instead of it being on the Sunday, it's going to be on the I believe the following Tuesday. I'll just check on my calendar. Apologies for not having this already pre-planned or even checked out. It will be the following. No, not this Tuesday coming up. The following one. On the New Year's Day, the 1st of January, is when it'll be actually officially done. The week after Christmas, and we'll be doing it'll be more of a New Year's Day special where I will be potentially doing TBT Awards, which is where I'll be discussing what the Burning Truth personally thought, that what the Burning Truth thought was potentially match of the year, wrestler of the year, women wrestling. Well, when I say wrestler of the year, I say wrestler for the year for males and females, tag team of the year, and potentially, it might even throw in some funny moments where, potential stuff and everything. But it's not going to but instead of us having worst moments, worst this, worst that, we're not going to be having that. It's just going to be the best of, because we won't put positive on wrestling. Be positive. So with that, I'm going to be doing that, building that up, and hopefully with that extra day or two that I'm at, I've got for before the New Year's Day, I hope it'll actually allow me to be able to potentially come up with ideas for some of the and who knows, some old TBT Awards could be making returns, or even some new ones. But to check out that, you'll have to check us out on New Year's Day for that. And the other reason why I won't be doing it next week as well is because I will actually be with family as such, not in my usual area. We're actually going on a bit of a New Year, like a bit of a New Year's weekend holiday, which is going to be thoroughly entertaining, and I can also say will be absolutely amazing, and I am absolutely looking forward to it myself. So please check out the Christmas message on Christmas Day, and as such, next week's episode is adjusted to the New Year's Day, but please check that out, as I will be doing TBT Awards on that episode as such. And also, just to give a shout out to some wrestling that I will be attending next Friday, which is FCW, in Gornal. Please check them out on their social media to check out all their show events. Their last show of 2018 is happening next Friday, so give that a check out, because I will be there to be doing some commentary. That I will be back there, so please give them a check out, as that's also another reason why I'm going to not be able to do a pre-recorded episode. As I stated, I will be massively busy as such. But in regards to future stuff, you know what, I was going to be considering talking about some future stuff in regards to the Burning Truth. The only thing we're going to mention is my blogs. The only thing I'm going to be mentioning for future stuff this week is going to be in regards to the blogs. As for the rest of the Burning Truth future, I'll mention that more so in the New Year's Day special with the awards and everything. But the only thing I'm going to be mentioning is the blogs. Yes, I know I have been promising a lot of times that we're going to be doing some blogs as such. Now, unfortunately, that is not the case. That hasn't been the case. But I am actually trying to write. I am trying to do some writing, but I am actually struggling because I'm not a blog writer. I'll openly admit that myself. I am more better at doing broadcasting, being vocal, speaking words. I can talk for England, as you probably tell from this episode. The fact that I've actually gone on for almost, I feel like I'm rambling on now, but I don't want to bore you too much with my voice and, drown out your ears at the same time. But I will be hopefully getting some blogs out soon, getting some done. And hopefully you do give them a check out. But in regards to that, I can also say thanks for checking this. Thanks for checking out this episode for the Return of the Burning Truth. But we're not done yet. We aren't done. We need to get onto our classic, our plugs, which is please check out UKWA, UK Wrestling Alliance, especially tomorrow, seeing as they're doing the Ross reveals. And please check out UK Wrestling Media, also known as UKWM. They do absolutely great photography and also great with media, as in video recording and everything. Please check them out. Please check out Manchester Pro Wrestling Academy if you are wanting to learn to wrestle, as they do actually have beginner classes, which if I'm not mistaken, they usually have beginner classes on a Monday, £10 per class, which is normally between 7 PM and 9 PM. Not sure if there's going to be one for this week, because with it being Christmas Eve, that could be most likely starting after the Christmas holidays. If anybody is interested in them, please check them out on their social media. As such, one of the big ones being Facebook, which is please check out Manchester Pro Wrestling Academy. Absolutely recommend them. Can't fault them enough. No, I can't fault them at all, because when I was actually there myself, absolute stellar, top to bottom training from what I could see. And believe me when I say this, some of their, what was so amazing is you get to see some of the talent on there. Back and forth, it's like, oh wow, they're show ready, and they're more likely what they consider the rookies. Like, huh? Shocked me, absolutely shocked me. Top quality training. If you want to check it out, and hell, even if you are a wrestler yourself, give it a check out. It could actually get you, dust off some ring rust. Great place for training, and they do absolutely brilliant work. Please check them out. Please check out JT Printing and Stitching. Do absolutely amazing work. You've seen me. I have advertising as well. I've had a polo shirt, custom polo shirt from them. They do absolutely amazing work. Please check them out. And as such, with the start of this episode, as you all know, I am a massive, massive supporter of mental health. So please check out the following, which is please check out Mind, and please check out Changes for Health and Wellbeing, Changes UK. Please check them out because the information that they do have on their websites can actually be very, very helpful, useful, and who knows, it can end up actually helping yourself or someone that you know. With the information that they have on there, you never know. I also recommend you check out Team 4-Star, who do absolutely amazing work, especially with the Dragon Ball Z abridged series, the Final Fantasy Machinima abridged series. I believe they're doing a countdown to some of the best fights in Dragon Ball Z at the moment, which is the entire Dragon Ball franchise, which is from all the way from Dragon Ball across all the way up to Super. They're doing all that. They actually do some amazing work. Please check them out. They always make me laugh. Please check out bands, some amazing, British bands. For example, The New Breed, absolutely amazing. They do fantastic work. Please check them out. I also recommend you check out Cannons, who's also another band as well. I find myself, in case if anybody wants to check them out, they're also on Spotify, which I will be mentioning that a bit later again for another show. But please check out The New Breed and Cannons. Absolute great bands. Recommend them. And of course, I know, Matthew, because I've been away, I haven't been able to do your advertising as much. But I am back now and more stronger than ever. I am going to be back to advertising Batchamania, which Matthew does absolutely amazing work. Please keep it up. You always keep me entertained. And please check out Barely Average Studios, which are also a gaming review. Do gaming reviews on YouTube. Please check it out as well. Now, the next thing I want to advertise, which is Fatal Misfire. Now, they're on Twitch. Please check them out because they are entertaining. Because they are doing some game streaming. Unfortunately, their schedule has changed, which I don't know. Unfortunately, but please check them out. Fatal Misfire HD on Twitch. Please check it out because who knows, game streaming. Some of the game stuff that they do could be to your interest. Check it out. And I want to give out some shout outs to Phil DeFranco, who is currently on a hiatus throughout the Christmas period. It's time for his holidays. He will be back in the new year. Just want to mention that. And that man entertains the hell out of me. He does massively. He entertains the hell out of me. He is so entertaining, but at the same time, he also knows how to break down the news, and even the bad news. He does. He tells you in an entertaining way, but he doesn't hide the fact that if you may, he openly. The interesting thing about with Philip DeFranco is the fact that he doesn't just give the information. He wants you to have a discussion with him. He'll put his opinion out on it. His own views, but at the same time, he'll give the news out in an informative way, put his own spin on it, and then ask you for your opinion. So you're having a conversation, which, if I'm not mistaken, Monday to Thursday he drops the news, and Friday's more of going back and checking on any comments, anything that you mentioned, and having the discussion with you. So he's always entertaining. And of course, please check out When Fandom Strikes, also on YouTube and of course also on TikTok. Entertaining as hell, does amazing work, especially with, thoughts that keep me up at night. Absolutely has me entertained, and I, thoroughly always check out that series, Thoughts That Keep Me Up at Night, because it is entertaining as hell. Please check them out. I can also state they are jumping on to more of the social media at the moment, and if necessary, even check out When Fandom Strikes Patreon, because if I'm not mistaken, they aren't actually funded by anybody else. They are trying to be crowdfunded as such, but at the same time, she does give back to her fans, and is an amazing person, and produces amazing content. And also, please check out Luke Moto on social media, and of course, please check out Luke Moto on YouTube, because I believe he does some interesting blog videos, and is entertaining. He also wrestles as well, so please check him out on his own wrestling page as well, which, if I'm not mistaken, is Luke Moto Wrestles. But give it a check out. He is fun. He is entertaining. Well, he's entertaining to me, at least. Even if you just give him a quick little view, I'd appreciate it myself, personally. And of course, please check out all your local wrestling shows. Just some of the ones I want to get off my own chest, which is like United Wrestling, Academy Pro Wrestling for You, FCW, Fusion Pro Wrestling, and many, many, many damn more. Hell, Nothing But Wrestling, Kamikaze Pro Wrestling. Please check them all out. Always check out your local wrestling, especially on social media, because they're always giving out great prizes on there as such, and it's always entertaining as hell to see. And I always recommend you check out your local shows, because why not? Wrestling's fun. Let's check it out together. But with that, the last thing I want you all to check out is the Burning Truth website, which is www.theburningtruthuk.com, which is possibly where you're listening to this live, or you could be listening to it via through the past, which is we also have on there past broadcast, past interviews, which I've done in the past, which hopefully that should be making a return in the future. Hopefully show reviews will be coming back as well as such down the road, but at the moment that will be on hold for now, but it will make a comeback. It's also where you can get some merchandise on there, which is where you can also get some fancy t-shirts, and also some great mugs as well, which are great presents. Now I've got a Christmas right around here. It might be a bit belated, but who knows? Be interesting. And of course, you can also check out where I'll be doing my blogs. And yes, I know I missed out on the predictions for some recent events. Yes, I know, but I will be getting that back up. Predictions will be back up on the blogs again. But for now, as soon as the next major event comes up, I will be putting them back up there, and hopefully be blogging more. A bit like I discussed earlier. There's also a contact page where you can actually send messages to the Burning Truth, myself, and anybody else who, if you want to send a message to the Burning Truth, to send it on there. It's also where we've got some of the links that I've already mentioned on, during this time, will be also on there as well, of course. Hopefully I'll be getting them added on soon as well, in regards to being able to reveal more. However, if you do check out their links and you do have anything inappropriate, please do not hold the Burning Truth responsible, or myself, because I'm not the one who told them to put it up. That is up to them on what they put up. So please, let me just state that. And of course, please check out the social media of the Burning Truth, which is, we are on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, under the Burning Truth, and we are also on Twitter, which is under, and instead of actually saying it, I will spell it out, which is on Twitter under WRESLING4THWALL. Please check us out on there. And of course, we're also on Spotify, which is what I was hinting at earlier. So please check out any of our past episodes on Spotify as well. And that is a wrap up for this episode. So thank you very much for checking the Burning Truth out for this week. Hopefully I will be catching you for the New Year special. And, no, not just for the New Year special. Hopefully catching you for the Christmas message. Hopefully catching you on the New Year special, of course. And, of course, as much as you might not be having as much wrestling at the moment during the holiday season, please check out your local wrestling. I hope you all stay well, stay safe, have a great time with your family. And, of course, please, as always, check out your local wrestling. Till then, I will catch you either on the Christmas message special or in the new year. Till then, stay well, stay safe. Catch you later.